Hi guys, it's your girl Rashida with another episode of Miss Goodie's Kitchen. In today's episode, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a vegetable lo mein recipe. So the first thing we're going to start doing is boiling our noodles. So I actually got my lo mein noodles from my local Asian market, and it was actually in the freezer section. So if you go in lo mein, I actually have one of the people I work with who was Chinese. She wrote it down for me in Chinese and told me just give it to someone there, show me where it's at. So here's what it looks like. A lot of people actually use this brand of lo mein. It's really, really popular. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open your container of lo mein noodles, and when you open it, you're gonna see that it's really, really long noodles. They're long. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut the noodles. Okay, so let's say we cut it here where the center is. We're gonna cut it here in the center, and then we're gonna cut it again here and just here. So basically I cut it in half and then I cut it in half again, like that. Okay, so now the water I have boiling, and I already added some oil to it. Okay, so now we're just gonna go ahead and add our noodles in there. So you add a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt in there. Okay, and these noodles do not take long to cook at all. Even if you fill these noodles, they're very soft already. It's not like box hard noodles, so you don't have to boil them for a long time, just so you know. And I think this is a great recipe just because it's fun to be able to make something fresh at home and not have to go to the Chinese store to get it. You can make it at home yourself, so you know exactly what's inside of it, and it doesn't have any type of MSG or extra stuff in it that you don't know. So it's really, really fun to learn how to cook different things. Guys, so while my lo mein noodles are finished up boiling, because they actually boil really quickly, so you want to keep an eye on them, I'm going to introduce some of the other items that you're going to need for this recipe. So right here I have some baby bok choy in some water, just soaking, so that any dirt that gets stuck in it or soil, it kind of settles to the bottom. Here I have minced ginger and garlic that I just minced up earlier today. It wasn't a lot. It was one clove and the same size piece of ginger. I have a green onion, some scallion, half of a baby bell pepper, some carrots, and then I have my soy sauce, which is made up of soy sauce, fish sauce, and oyster sauce. Okay? So let me just check on my noodles really quickly and see how they're coming along, because they boil really quickly and I don't want them to be overcooked. So right now they're actually perfect. And you'll see that they're actually, they're kind of swollen up larger than where they were before. Before they were skinnier, and now they're larger noodles. So just keep that in mind. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna go strain the noodles, and then I'll be right back. All right guys, so we're back here with the finished product. We have our lo mein noodles. I washed them probably 3-4 times with cold water until they really cool down. And the reason why you want to do that is because you want your noodles to stop cooking. So literally I poured out the hot water that was in a pot, and I poured cold water over it, and I just did this type of motion with the noodles until it cooled down. And you're gonna keep adding cold water, and when it's cooled and you can actually touch it without burning yourself, then you know that the noodles are ready. Okay, so here are the lo mein noodles. This is how they should look. We just pull up one for you. You'll see they should be very you'll be able to, you see how you can pull it like that. That's when you know it's ready. All right, so here's our lo mein noodles. So let me just put this to the side for a second, because the first thing we're going to do is saute our vegetables. So I have a hot pot here. Let me just see, maybe you have some of my olive oil. So I have my olive oil, and I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil to the pan. See, that's hot. And when you're stir frying, Chinese Asian style, you want to make sure your pan is really, really hot. Okay? So I'm just gonna put that in. All right, so right now I added in my ginger and my garlic, and I'm just gonna stir that a little bit. And then after you do that, you can really start just adding in the rest of the vegetables that you want to add in. And because it's lo mein, you don't have to like mince it or do like any crazy fine type of cutting. Just put in what you had. I cut some carrots earlier. I'm gonna add that in. I love carrots and lo mein. And then I have like half of a bell pepper. I'm just gonna cut that a little bit thin. I'm gonna put that in there, right? Then I'm gonna give this a stir. Okay, I'm gonna turn my heat up. I literally just got like a whiff of ginger. It smells really, really good. Ooh. Mm. So that and the vegetables are just sauteing. So now you'll see that I have my baby bok choy, which I went and I got this from the Asian market as well. So if you look in here, you can see that literally the water, like there's dirt that was stuck inside of it, the lo mein, it like settled to the bottom. So yes, I washed my bok choy, but I also let it sit in here so that any extra type of soil or anything can all drop to the bottom, okay? So now I'm just gonna slice these up. And I use the entire thing. I love, love, love baby bok choy. Like I really, really love it. I can eat it by itself with like whatever. I love it. Steamed, sauteed, whatever. I love it. So now that I have my baby bok choy in here with the rest of my vegetables, I'm just gonna really just let that begin to saute. All right, and I also forgot to tell you guys that to my little soy sauce mixture, I actually added a drop of sesame oil in there as well, and you're gonna need that. So you just mix that up, and then my scallion, I'm gonna save that to the end. Show you guys what I do with that. All right. So that's pretty good. So those are going, and now it's time for the fun. It's time for you to add your noodles. My favorite part. So a lot of people feel like if you don't have a wok, you can't make lo mein. That's not the case. Relax. You can make whatever you want as long as you have the correct ingredients and as long as you're having fun. So now we're going to go ahead and add the lo mein. And I'm going to make probably like a couple of portion sizes. The lo mein that I bought, you can see it actually makes a lot of lo mein. So if you want to cut it in half and use some for one night and use the rest for another night, you can do that as well. Okay? Look how beautiful that looks already. We're not even done. You see how colorful it looks with all the different flavors? Lo mein. I remember when I was in college, we used to eat at this restaurant called Shanghai, and they had this thing that was like a spicy lo mein. I'm definitely gonna recreate that, but I just wanted to make like a general lo mein. But me personally, I like spice. So if you want to kick it up, add some jalapenos, add some red pepper flakes, whatever you want. But I like my lo mein spicy. So now that this has finished, they're sauteed. Now I'm gonna add the sauce that I told you guys that I made earlier. So this is the oyster sauce, the soy sauce, and the fish sauce. So with the fish sauce, you don't want to add too much. Don't go crazy because if you're not used to it, it takes time to get used to. So I'm gonna add all of this in there. Well, most of it, if anything. Okay, and now we're gonna let that all come together. All right. So now we're just gonna let that continue to go. Just mix it. And because you are stir frying, you don't want to leave it here because if you leave it here, then it'll stick. So if you don't have a wok, then use a non-stick pan like what I'm doing. It'll make it easier. And that's why when you're washing the noodles, you can even add a little bit of oil to the noodles so that it doesn't stick, because these noodles, they can stick on you and that won't be pretty. Okay. So now that that's going, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna let that cook. I'm gonna move this to the side, and I really want to show you guys what I do with this scallion. So the scallion doesn't really have to get fully cooked. We're just gonna cut it on a bias, like so that it looks nice and pretty. You hear that sizzling? Right? So I just cut up one whole scallion. See that? You see how I did it on a bias? So now I'm gonna take that. What? And just add that into that. That's it. You did it. You made lo mein. You made vegetable lo mein. It's that simple. Again, if you don't like baby bok choy, use whatever you want. You can use broccoli. You can really use whatever you want. And then I'm going to save a tiny bit because I just want to add a little bit more garnish on my plate. So this is done. So let's just plate this up and then we can dig right in because this is making me hungry. All right, guys. So now I'm just going to take this. I'm going to put it in a plate. See all that goodness? So pretty, so it smells good. Can't wait to just bite in. Put this in the back burner. And then the rest of the scallions that I told you to leave, you're just gonna put that right on top. Bam, that's it, it's simple. Come on, man, you can do this. You can do this, come on. All right, so here you have it. My vegetable lo mein recipe. It wasn't that hard. You guys can do it. It's fresh, it's savory. I want to actually have a taste of it. Sure, I never have a fork. So I'm gonna go ahead and have a bite. I'm gonna do a little bit. I told you guys I love bok choy, so I have to get some bok choy on here. That's it. Lo mein. And I actually make this dish for my customers as well, and they love it. It's different if you're ever gonna have an Asian themed party, or if you have friends that are coming over that may like lo mein, you can make it for them. So you guys know what to do. Comment, like, subscribe, leave me messages. Let me know how your lo mein came out, and let me know if you added anything different to it. All right? Bye, guys. Take care.